My grandpa had died a couple of weeks ago. It was my first time fishing. We were in the mountains, fishing area. My dad was like 3 feet away, helping my little sister, and my mom was like behind them, videoing everything. I felt like a really hard tug on the line, and then I started screaming, "Dad!" And he's like, "Oh, it's probably nothing." I started pulling it in rapidly with his help, and then boom, a fish comes out. There's like this big rainbow trout. My mom later said that since my grandpa had died, it was a gift from him to catch that fish. He was like the outdoorsy fishing type. I wish I could have told him that I caught a fish.
The only thing that I do, play my favorite game, Destiny 2. The art was good, the gameplay was good. It was my sort of game. I'm trying to get a weapon with an impossibly low drop rate, Vex Mythic class, so I just did that over and over again for multiple weeks on end. It takes coordination. You have to actually know what you're doing. So I had this dream where I was just, fishing out the final boss. I just shot at it a lot. And then, in the dream, the weapon finally dropped, Vex Mythic class. And I was like jumping up and down like I actually got it, finally. And then I woke up and then I realized I still don't have it. So it was a premonition because I got it the exact same day. So I felt like I was on top of the world at the moment. It felt great. Best moment I've had in the game so far.
My dad left. He didn't just up and leave, though. So my dad was never really being watched, and nobody ever told him not to do anything. So he basically just did, everything. He was doing all the things that he wasn't supposed to, but I don't know exactly what. I'm pretty sure he decided to cheat on my mom. When I was 4 years old, I woke up in the middle of the night to hearing screaming in the hallway, and it was my dad yelling at my mom. And I don't remember what they were yelling about, but I come out. I don't really see anything, and I just see a hole in the wall right there. I kind of forgot about him after that. I didn't even remember his face anymore. I'm not allowed to see him. He does send me birthday presents and Christmas presents, but I'm never gonna see him again until I'm 18. So.
I was always a really non-risk taker when I was a kid. Basically, I had this penny board, which is basically a smaller skateboard, and I had my dog attached to the leash, which is already, wow, great idea. And he saw a rabbit, and about 5 seconds later, my face was on the cement. All of the right side of my back was scratched up. I had 2 major injuries on my right elbow, and they're bleeding out really badly. Luckily, no head injuries. Yeah, that'd be the stupidest and most painful thing that I've done.
Speak.
Speed.
Speak.
Going fast. Yep, speed.
Personally, I felt very different from everybody else, and I just adapted to what was around me. If I see something, I would copy it, and that's how I formed my personality. I stopped feeling like that at age 7. I was sitting by my dresser, and then suddenly I just kind of came to this realization that I'm alive and I had control over myself. I would consider myself to be very rich in personality. I think I've developed into my own unique person, which I am very grateful for, and I'm mostly happy with who I am today.
So the bullying kind of started in 3rd grade, and it progressively got worse as I got to 5th grade. Kids in 3rd grade were less mean, less rude than they were in 5th grade, but there were still a lot of racist slurs. And then it got to the point where kids were bringing vapes to school in 5th grade, and they found them behind the trash cans, and people were cursing at the teachers, and there were fights every other second, every day.
The teachers had definitely had enough already. There were a lot of 5th grade teachers who just didn't do it anymore. I definitely cried of anger more than I did sadness. I was getting angry at myself because I let the bullies actually affect me when they shouldn't have. If I would choose to go back, surprisingly, I would say yes, because I had more friends there than I did bullies.
Well, I fell in love with baseball when I was a little kid. When I was little, my uncle would take me to his games, and he would just show me how to bat, throw a ball, and the first time I ever catched was probably 4 years old. When I was on a travel team, we went to Los Angeles, to Las Vegas, and to Kansas, and it's just you win or lose some. I didn't really wanted baseball no more. I wanted to play another sport because I wanted to try every sport. But all my family, they're all into baseball and stuff. But when I was into baseball too, they said that they're gonna look at me in a couple years going big playing baseball. Baseball to me is it's just a fun game that'll never get off my head.
My dad wanted to take me to the beach when I was 4, so he took me down and then he put me in the water and he grabbed his surfboard and then said, "I think it's time you should learn how to surf." I was surfing and the tag leash, when I fell off, got stuck to me and it attached onto me and I panicked and I couldn't get to the surface because I couldn't swim very well. My dad was in the water, but he was kind of doing his own thing with his friend and they were surfing together. I feel like that was definitely kind of on him, but then I also shouldn't have gone in the water if I didn't really know how to swim. I was a little angry for a while because I felt like he wasn't paying close attention to me. He's a good parent. It was just the one time where he kind of let it slide.
I'm 13 years old, my pronouns are he, him, his, and I go to Denver School of the Arts. My younger self, I wasn't proud of who I was. I tried to hide it. I tried to pretend to be cisgender. Going back to my earlier statement of I identify as a transgender man, a year ago, I would have said no. I would have said, no, I'm cis. In elementary school, I would, be picked up by my mom. I'd ask, "Do you wish I was born a boy?" A kid at school asked me if I was transgender, and I kind of panicked because I had never actually come to terms with myself. And now I realize that pretending to be a cisgender man was just as bad as me pretending to be a girl, I need to be proud of who I am.
I became interested in film when around my 9th birthday, my parents got me a stop motion kit and I got super excited. I made 5 movies a day. I really like that if you write a story, you can hear it, but you can't truly see what it's supposed to be like. In a movie, you can watch a story, you can see how it looks. My biggest challenge is that I'm not great at planning. When I get into movies, I'm really excited to just make it, and I like to rush in once I've just thought of the whole story. It's very important to keep script, storyboards, all sorts of stuff is required to plan movies. I feel like although it's still hard for me to want to do scripts, I feel like I've understand how to do them, how to plan out my movie. I think when I found out about Denver School of the Arts, it's what really made me care about this art and be really invested in it. Although it's not the way I started, I think I've really found my passion, and I feel like this is really what I'm interested in.